welcome back, welcome back. Woo! How's everybody doing today? Today is the day. Today is the day. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Guess what? It's day 365. I've been talking to you guys since January of 2019. Moving on to the new year. Now, guess what? I was doing 2 lives a day at times, so that's why it seems like I have made the mark before the year actually ended. However, just a moment. However, but the year hasn't ended yet, but guess what? It's 365 because I doubled up on a few lives here and there, but I'm still going to push it through the end of the year. So I just wanted to say hello, everyone, and just thank you all for your support. What do they say? How do they say? The lyrics don't belong to me or something like that. I don't know what that whole terminology is all about, but guess what? I made it, guys. So this journey was a long one, but you were also supportive of me. And I want to just take a moment just to thank you for all that you have done. Mom, Dad, I'm on live. If you could just hold on a moment, please. So we're going to go over tonight the SMART goals. We started to talk about the SMART goals before, and we want to continue doing the same because I'd like to add on one more point before we end the formula that I've been explaining to you about the SMART process, the SMART equation, all right? Because when you use the SMART equation and you apply it to the goals that you're trying to set, then everything will ultimately work out. And you can use it for everything in life that you'd like to do. So what I'd like to do is just give you a quick refresher. About 3 days ago, we spoke on mission versus vision. There's a difference. There's a difference between what the mission is versus the vision, right? So the vision is something that you inspire to do, to have, using all your imaginary thought process, your mind, the things that you envision yourself doing, but not necessarily in an actual career. The mission is what the company uses to create a plan for that organization. So when they lay everything out, then it gives them the in detail process as to how the company plans to achieve the goal. So it's broken down in specific terms, all right? So we spoke about the specific, and the specific has tons of W's in it. If you're not aware, the W's is what helps to draw you closer to that goal. The M is measurable. You have to have a way of measuring the goal that you set. So I don't know what goals you guys have set throughout the year, or some that you plan on setting for the upcoming year, or some that you plan on setting permanently. So you guys know how I feel about New Year's resolution. If you're doing the right thing all the time, then you don't necessarily have to worry about creating a new plan when a brand new year starts. And half of you create the plan anyway and you don't follow through. You give it 30 days and after that you fall off the bandwagon. And one biggest one is losing weight, right? Everybody wants to lose weight at the beginning of the year. But guess what? As soon as 5 days, I don't even give it 30 days anymore. As soon as 5 days comes in, everybody fall off the bandwagon. You see the gyms full, everyone's pumping iron, the cards that they never used before, now they're finally using those cards for the gym. It's not just for decoration. So they're actually going to the gym, but then after that, mommy and daddy, just a moment. Then after that, it's that everything goes by the wayside, all right? So achievable is something the way for you to achieve it is by making sure that it's realistic. And we're gonna talk about realistic tonight. So for example, if you're gonna set a goal, let's say to run 5 miles, okay? You don't wanna necessarily set the goal and try to run 5 miles in the first 3 days, because that doesn't make any sense, especially if you never ran before. It's just not gonna be feasible because you have to warm up to that point, and ultimately after a longer period of time is when you're able to step up and make the mark of the 5 miles. But it's going to take continuous practice, it's going to take time at the gym, it's going to take recovery time. So you have to keep in mind all of those things. So instead of setting an unrealistic goal of 3 days, you want to make sure you set it for however long you feel that you can achieve this. If you feel that you're not a runner, then it's going to be a longer time. Maybe it takes you 6 months to run 5 miles. But if you're ultimately an athlete already, maybe it will only take you 2 months to be able to run 5 miles consistently and not necessarily tire easily or feel that the pace that you're going is just too much. If you're an athlete before, chances are you may even be able to increase your pace to maybe about a 4.0, 5.0, but that's running at a pretty decent speed and maintaining that for the entire 5 mile duration. So I'm just talking tonight about being realistic. You want to make sure that whatever goals you set for yourself, it has to make sense. You can't set something and look back and say, oh, I'm going to do this. Or if you're a certain amount of weight and you're going to say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds by 5 days. That's not realistic. And I'm being very dramatic when I say that, but believe it or not, some people really don't understand how to make sure it's something that's realistic, attainable, that they can actually reach. All right. So I've been speaking to you guys on how to basically create a roadmap for 2020. All right. And now this is not just for 2020. As I mentioned a couple nights ago, this is the same equation that you can use in every part of your life. You can use it in your family portion of your life. You can use it in your fitness portion. You can use it in your career. You just use the same formula, just like in mathematics in school when you're studying and they give you an equation. They're giving that to you because you can use the same one to solve a different problem. Does that make sense? So again, I want to go back just real quick and go over with you what a vision is, because some of you may not have one lined up. Some of you may have something already lined up years and years, but you've tucked it away and not gone back to look at it. So I'm going to define it for you. Vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. That's the fun part, because then you're able to creatively, whatever you have in your mind that's your gift that you're trying to birth, you can add all your imaginatory tools with it and then take it to another level by allowing that to take place so other people that are waiting on your gifts can take advantage of it. When you hide your gifts, then guess what? No one else can see all the wonderful talents that you have. So vision, again, is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Your vision, there's a personal vision, is how you commit to living your life. A clear personal vision is an integration of your abilities, it's of several things, all right? Your abilities, your interests, your personality has a lot to do with it. If you're someone that's not a self-motivator and you need to have supervision all the time, being an entrepreneur does not give you a school teacher to check something off whenever you haven't gotten something done. They don't come back and say, listen, did you read those books that I asked you to read, right? So that's the one thing about being an entrepreneur. So if you aspire to be one, keep that in mind. Your values, how you were brought up. Some people just, like my parents would say, some people have no brought-upsy, right? So if you don't have the right values, then how far can you go with that? The goals that you set, the skills that you have, maybe you have to go to school and learn new skills in order to push forth that particular vision that you have for something that you're trying to do. For example, if you're trying to be a carpenter, you probably have to go to trade school if you never had any kind of experience with that. You can't just expect to jump up and learn carpentry on your own and then all of a sudden you run out and running into people's houses doing all these different things. It just doesn't work that way. And that goes back to the SMART process, where it's being realistic, right? Being realistic and very specific about what you're trying to do. And then there's also family of origin and also stage of adult development. And I want to define mission again to you. A mission statement defines what an organization is, why it exists, and its reason for being. So for example, if you have a church organization that's trying to do missionary work in another country, they want to make sure that they really define the organization's goal once they get to that country, right? Why it exists, what is it that they're trying to do, how are they trying to help the people in the other country, and its reason for being, because maybe there's multiple famine in those different places, so they thrive on making sure that they consistently do this so that they can help those third world countries. So that's just a little tidbit on vision and mission, just to give you a clearer understanding of how that ties into the SMART process. I also mentioned to you the Habakkuk 2. It states that it's important that you have a plan, make it clear, and also write it down. If you have it in your mind, then it just really is not going to go anywhere. You have to have it on paper, because then you can separate all the things that Doesn't matter. Keep the things together that does, and then this will allow things to work in a smoother process for you. All right. So again, the equation that I spoke about is SMART, S-M-A-R-T. We spoke about the S, which is specific. The M is measurable. The A is actionable, right? The R is realistic, which is the one that we're on tonight, and we'll talk about the last one tomorrow night. All right, guys? So that's all I had for you this evening, pretty much, on the SMART process. I do hope that this is something that's helping you through your planning or whatever it is that you're trying to do. But keep in mind that if you just use the same thing over and over again, it really, really will help you to be very clear on your journey, be very clear on the roadmap that you're trying to create for yourself. Because once your roadmap is clear, then you know exactly where you're going. If you're going on a journey and you don't have a navigation system and it's someplace that you're unfamiliar with, it's going to be very hard to get there, right? Going to be very difficult to get there. So keep that in mind. So listen, guys, I do pray that helped you. Again, I started right off into the process. Well, my name is Donna. I am with Donna Sharpe Worldwide and holistic coach. And if you don't know who I am a transformational holistic and wellness coach. And I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm here to help you. And again, if you also did not know, I made a commitment for 365 days. And guess what, guys? Today is that day. Today is also the day for my beautiful and lovely daughter's birthday. My daughter turned 24 today. I love her dearly. She is truly a gem. I'm truly blessed to have her in my life. So if you didn't get a chance to, like we say in Jamaica, give her some big up. I placed a post on my page. Feel free to send her some love. All right. Outside of that, guys, thank you all for your support. Kim, thank you for joining. Bodied by Bella, thank you so much for joining. Alfonso, I think Mr. Ted Harvey, you're on the line somewhere. If you logged on later on and hit the replay button, thank you very much again for your support. If you feel that this can help someone else in your circle, by all means, hit the share button so that they too can get the information because they were not on with me tonight. All right, so guys, let's just turn the wheel and make sure that whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life, let it not be just a New Year thing. Let it be something that's a regular thing, right? Because when it becomes consistent, when it becomes an habitual thing, when it becomes something that you love to do, right? When it becomes something that's mind-changing, that's allowed your attitude to change, to give you some altitude, then you will see that a lot of the things that you want to be very consistent and not stagnant in your life will ultimately change for the good. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. Thank you again so much for your support. I'm just gonna turn this up a little bit. And what I say, I don't have the rights to this music, but guess what? I'm every woman. I know you guys think I'm crazy, right? But guess what? This is me and where I am right now. Yeah! 365 days, guys, was not easy, but guess what? I did it. And we're moving to a whole nother platform, a whole nother level. If you wish to ride this road with me, then by all means, stay tuned. We have a lot more fun and exciting things to come. So guess what, guys? I'm going to sign off now. You have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for joining. Ciao.